Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Simply Complicated Cooking. Thank you so much for tuning into the last episode. I got a lot of great feedback, and I also got a lot of requests to make some really cool dishes for you guys. So keep tuning into these episodes because I'm going to show you how to make some really awesome food here in the comfort of your own home. And now today, I'm going to be making one of the most requested dishes on this list. Now this food, I feel like is something that is everyone's first attempt in the kitchen. It's the first dish that they make. They make it all throughout college, and it's something that can be thrown together in a few minutes, or it can be handcrafted into a very, very fantastic food. I am talking about, of course, ramen. Now, this is something, like I said, a lot of young chefs attempt, but I'm here to show you the best recipe on how to make this truly a gourmet dish. So, without further ado, here are the things you're going to need today to make the best bowl of ramen you've ever had in your entire life. 1 freshly picked ripe ramen, 2 cups of water, 1 French press, a lamp, a brush, and your bathroom. You got all that? Of course you did. All right, let's get started. Here we go. Now, right off the bat, I need to break a little myth about ramen. What a lot of people don't know is that ramen is not a pasta, it is actually a fruit. I know, who would have thought, right? But as you can see, the ramen, when you first pick it, is actually encased in this hard outer shell, or package, as some people like to call it. And now what we want to do is we want to break open this hard exterior and get to the sweet center of the ramen. So how we're going to do that is I'm actually going to take these scissors. Now, a lot of people have different methods. They like to rip off the shell. I like to do it a little bit more meticulously so that I'm not sure to miss anything. So, like I said, I'm going to take these scissors. I'm going to cut open this first layer of the shell. It should come off pretty easily. It's not on there very tight. As you can see, it just kind of folds open like this, like petals almost. I'm going to throw this off to the side, and now it's got this kind of film that's wrapped around it. And this is a little bit harder to get into. Some people like to jam their fingers in. I don't like to do that. It's not very sanitary. So I'm going to take my scissors again. I'm just going to cut a little bit around the top, around here, if you can see that. And then I'm going to slowly peel it back, being sure to be careful. I don't want to ruin the dish. I'm going to take that off just like that. So now we're left with the last little bit of this shell. Now this part is very important. So inside of here, we have our ramen, but we also have the seed powder that helps it spread and pollinate and grow, and we don't want that to get all over the place. So I'm doing it over a cutting board, and I'm going to cut this very slowly, like it's an avocado. I'm actually going to cut the camera a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing with just my hands. All right, now that you're a bit closer, you can see the shell that I'm dealing with. Now, it's very thick, and we don't want to just crack this bad boy open and have it spill all over the place. We want to cut through it very carefully so that we don't get the seed powder all over the place, because we're actually going to be using that in the recipe later. So, I'm going to take this knife. I'm just going to start over here, and like I said, just like it's an avocado, I'm going to cut through here. We don't want to be cutting towards our hand. It's not very safe. So I'm going to be going up top like this, through the shell. It's pretty tough, so you want to be sure you're being as careful as possible. There we go. We've got part of it right there, a nice solid clean cut. And we're going to go to this side, go down to the bottom of this shell. You can see where it broke off of the branch right here. I'm going to flip it over, being sure I'm being very safe, not cutting towards your hands like I almost did earlier. Be cutting through. We're almost all the way through. Going right here at the top. As you can see, it's starting to break open. We're getting in there. Oop, had it crack a bit. That's okay. We're actually going to break this last part. As you can see, the seed powder is already starting to come through, which is great. So here we are, cracking open that shell. And look at this. We've got our beautiful ramen center right here, just like that. Put the shell to the side. And there we are. Alrighty, great job, you guys. Now that you've cracked off that hard exterior, what we've got left is the really meaty and juicy center, which is the ramen portion of this dish, which is what we're mainly going to need. Now, as you can see, it's covered in this seed powder, and we're going to be using it in the recipe, but we don't want it on there right now. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this brush, and I'm going to brush it off and try and get all of this seed powder off and collect it right here just like this. Now it's going to be a little bit fun. You're going to feel like, you know, Indiana Jones, like an archaeologist. So really take your time. Be sure that you're getting all this seed powder off. Some of it will be caked in there. You just want to be sure you work it out. Really try and clean it. If you don't get all of it, that's okay. We just want to separate as much of it from the meaty center as we can. I'm going to collect it just like this. Getting a pretty good amount, being sure to really get in there in between the cracks. Looks like a brain. Ugh, we're not zombies. We don't want to eat those brains. That's why we're eating ramen. So we're taking this off all the way. I think that's pretty good. We got a solid amount right out of there. So I'm going to put this to the side, just like this. I'm going to collect all of this powder. Get a little bit more out of there, just like that. Okay, so we've got the meaty center to the side, and now we've got our little powder. I'm actually going to set this over here. We're going to use that a bit later, but I'm going to collect all of this powder that we now have left over right here. I'm going to put it in this little dish, so that way we can use it later on in our recipe. Just like that. Be super careful. You don't want any to spill. Awesome. There you go. All right, on to the next step. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're like, Noah, why are you wearing your swimsuit? Are you going to the beach? No, silly, I can't go to the beach. We've still got cooking to do, okay? So what I want to do next is I want to steam this ramen. And if you don't know how to steam, I've got a very simple at-home way to steam your ramen. You've got a shower, right? Now, that's why I've included the bathroom on the ingredients list, because if you go up to your bathroom, you turn on the shower, and you let it steam up the room, that's really going to get this ramen to soak up and sop up flavors and nutrients that are left over from the seed powder. So I'm going to take you on up to my bathroom. We're going to keep on cooking. Alrighty, so here we are in my bathroom. I've got my cap on to keep my hair nice. The water's running, starting to steam up the room already, and I've got my ramen right here. Now, like I said, we want that ramen to get super, super steamy and soak up all that moisture. And so to help quicken the process, I brought my speaker with me. And I'm going to be playing some jazz music, because how else do you get steamy? So we're going to have that play some music. I'm going to sit in here and steam some ramen. Let's see how it goes. That was some steamy stuff. All right, so we've just steamed our ramen, and as you can see, it doesn't look too different off the top, but if I pick it up just like this, you can see that it's still pretty solid right up here, but down at the bottom, the moisture is collected, causing it to look like a little jellyfish, okay? And that's what we want. So this part of the recipe is done. So we're gonna push this to the side, and now we're gonna take that seed powder that we collected earlier, and we're gonna cook it and then combine it all, and we'll finish up our dish. Hey there. All right, so in this pot, I've got those 2 cups of water. Now, this isn't water extract, it's actual water. You gotta cook it. So if you wanna find the best recipe to cook water, go back to episode 1, I'll show you how to make it. Now, I've got some pre-made right here in this pot. And now for the next step, I wanted to do kind of a different cooking method. I used the stovetop last time, but if you find yourself in a survival situation where you don't have a stovetop to use, you can use one of the most commonly found items in a house, and that is a lamp. This lamp is going to be able to heat up that water to the temperature that you need to make the perfect ramen. So I'm going to hold it right over the top just like this, and we're going to wait a bit until we get that perfect boil that we're looking for. Alrighty, let's check in on our water. Yeah, there we go. All right, you see how there's so much steam coming up? It's at that perfect boil, and this is what we want to use. So now we're going to add that seed powder, and we're going to be one step closer to finishing our dish. Let's go. Alrighty, so now is when you get to be a real artist with your dish. So I have right here all this seed powder. Right here, you can see that there's bigger chunks, there's some smaller fine powder. We want all of it, okay? every little bit, every chunk is gonna add some extreme flavor to our dish. So I've got that right here. And now what we wanna do is we wanna really draw out these flavors. Like any seed or bean, we just don't wanna throw it right out in there. We wanna draw out what's inside of the seed. And what better way to draw that out than with a French press? This is really gonna push and squish and get all of those fantastic juices and nutrients out of the seed. So I'm gonna take that water that we just heated up, I'm gonna put it right here next to me. And first, take the seed powder, pour it right in, just like that. Make sure it's all the way in there. Now I'm gonna take the water, pour it right on inside, just like that. You can see it's already starting to mix. We're gonna take the lid of our French press just like that, set it on top, push it right on down, right away. There we go. Push it just like that. And as you can see, all the big chunks have remained at the bottom. And now we're left with this fantastic sauce that we're gonna use on our dish. So we have this, and now it's time for the final step, to combine this with the ramen and enjoy our meal. Let's go finish up. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the grand finale of this video. I have right here the steamed ramen that we made earlier, and then I have the seed powder sauce that we made just a little bit ago. And now it is time to combine the two. You ready? All right, so when you pour this, you want to use finesse. You're an artist. You're a food artist. Remember that. So pour slowly with care, like so. Whew, I'm getting chills. I'm a little nervous. Right here. Nice circular pour. Just like in the water video, circular pours are always best. Nice and slow. Just like that. Amazing. So now we're gonna let this ramen sit for just a little bit, and then time to eat. Okay, so the ramen's been sitting for about 2 minutes, and based off of the fantastic smell coming off of it, I think we're ready for a taste test. So without further ado, I've got my fork and I've got my spoon, and let's take a bite of this bad boy. Oh yeah, so you can see the noodles are nice and tender, no big chunks floating around. Oh, and the smell. Oh, wish you could smell it, okay? It's pretty amazing. Alrighty, let's take a bite. Orgasmic. Okay, that's fantastic. That's absolutely beautiful. I mean, I got choked up right there with just the emotion of how good this ramen is. Okay, and I really hope you get to experience this at home. Truly, this is an amazing dish. I would recommend this to kings and queens. Okay, so let it speak for itself. All right? Now, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I've had so much fun. Please try this recipe at home. And like I said, I've got other great recipes coming your way. So this has been Simply Complicated Cooking. Remember, it's cooking so simple, it isn't. Have a great one.